Hey, everybody, men of God, it's Dr. Joe Martin here with Real Men Connect, where we help good men become great men God's way by providing with real answers to problems in the real world. Obviously, this is not the real men ride along; it's more like the real men walk along, right down in my home. And I'm calling it quits for the day, but I wanted to shoot a quick video because I knew if I didn't do it, I'm going to forget to do it. So excuse me as I'm moving around because I need to find me a seat that I can relax and be able to focus. You know, I'm gonna sit in my living room. That's where I'm going right now. I was gonna sit in the kitchen, but I'll chill in the living room. I want to ask you a question. When it comes to your life, are you a person that's overburdened with worry, stress, doubts, or like my wife likes to say, do you catastrophize things? What do you mean by catastrophize? When you start thinking of the worst case scenario, something happens. You get sick or you get an injury. You're thinking, wow, I don't know if I'm going to recover from this. Or you have an unexpected financial bill and you think, wow, this is going to ruin us financially. Or you're going through stuff in your relationships where you're thinking, wow, this could be the end of our relationship. Or you hear a bad report at your school with your kid and think, oh, my son now is going to be on drugs for the rest of his life. You get the point that when something bad happens, that's unexpected, that we don't like to see happen, and then we go from a 0 to 100 because we're now imagining the worst case scenario. And we're anticipating, and it is stressing us out. We can't sleep, we can't eat, we can't think straight, and the enemy is robbing us of our joy. Well, I'm going to give you a simple technique, and I was working with one of our guys. If you guys are familiar with Real Men Connect, if you've been following us for a while, you know Real Men Connect. These are videos that we do, but this is not our ministry. We call these the Real Men Ride Along. But I work with helping men win at what matters and frustrates them the most by getting them connected to community, to accountability, to brotherhood, to coaching and counseling that they need to deal with their past trauma, all kinds of stuff like that. Well, a lot of times these videos that I shoot come from questions and interactions I have with our men. And I wanted to share this video because one of our men, we were talking, and he was going through some stuff in his marriage, and it's on the brink of divorce. Matter of fact, he was served with divorce papers. And now he understands, he's come to grips with the fact that he's made some poor decisions in his life. And it's not all of his fault, but he's kind of led his wife to this path, and now she feels that the only hope is to end the marriage. Now, that in itself is hard to deal with in and of itself, because you always start thinking about, wow, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? What could I have changed? And the enemy doesn't have any power over you other than the power of suggestion. So after we've blown it big time, we made mistakes, we've done things that we regret, the enemy likes to play on our minds because that's what he's going to attack. He can't do anything without God's permission. And so his power is the power of suggestion. And I'm going to share with you two things that, well, it's one thing that he does, and it's another thing we have to do to combat it. And that's what I want to share this with you. And I'll make this very quick. The reason why we get stuck in worry, doubt, fear, and insecurity after we've blown it, we've made a mistake. Because as soon as we make the mistake and we have time alone and we get to think, remember God says, the word says that we are not to be conformed to the patterns of this world, but be conformed by what? The renewing of our what? Our mind. So while the enemy wants to attack our thoughts, and one way he attacks our thoughts is to put the power of suggestion of this. What if? What if? Now think about that. You may not have really thought about it, but think about what happens right before you start worrying, before you start stressing out, before you start getting confused, before you start getting anxiety and panic attacks. Do you understand that the phrase that is popping in your head, the enemy's putting it in your head, is he's whispering, what if? See, let's talk about finances. What if? What if you don't have enough money in your bank account? What if you lose your job? What if? What if you now have to tap into your savings? What if you don't have money for a rainy day? What if you lose your house over this? What if this is only the beginning of more financial ruin? Are you starting to get it now? Let's say it's a health report. You find out you get a bad report that, wow, that we found some abnormalities in your x-rays or whatever, your MRI. Then what does the enemy do when you're alone by yourself? What if? What if it's cancer? What if it's serious and they can't operate on? What if Chemo won't treat it. What if it's more serious than that and now you only have a short time to live? What if something happens to you, your family can't be taken care of financially because you're sick? What if somebody has to take care of you and you can't take care of yourself? What if you become a burden on the people that you love? Are you starting to get it? And we know this with our relationships, right? We're in a marriage and you do something wrong and now you have to confess and come clean to your wife. And what does the enemy tell you to do? What if? What if she leaves you over this? What if she separates from you? What if she takes the kids? What if she files for divorce? What if she decides to do to you what you did to her? Are you starting to get it now? See, the devil specializes in the what ifs. He doesn't even know the future other than his fate. But what he wants you to do is get you to doubt the one who does know the future, to doubt our Father who is in heaven, who's sovereign, who goes before us, who knows the beginning, who knows the end from the beginning. So how do you combat that what if from the enemy? With one tactic. Anytime the enemy tries to put in what if in your ear, what you do is you speak out of your mouth to God, God, what's next? See, the enemy says, what if? And then you cry out to God, God, what's next? God, what do you want me to do next? What is the next step of righteous obedience you want me to take? God, what's the next step I can do to be a blessing to someone? God, what's the next thing I can do to prove that I can trust you more? God, what's the next thing I could find in your go to you in your word to give me encouragement? God, what's the next promise that I can claim to help me get through this storm? Do you get it? Don't let the enemy punk you with the what ifs. Instead, you send him retreating and running with the what next. Because once God gives you the what's next, God, what's the next thing I need to speak to the enemy to get him to retreat? What word from your truth do I need to speak to him? And watch the enemy. He says that if we resist the enemy will flee from us. He didn't tell us to run from the enemy. He says just resist him. And you resist him by speaking the word of God. But you can start by saying, God, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't even know what's going to happen in the next hour. But all I have now is you and me. Tell me, what would you have me to do next? And you focus on doing what's next. You'll have time to be worrying about the what ifs. I hope this makes sense. So if it has blessed you, please share it with another brother. If you're not watching our videos when we release them, please subscribe to our channel so you can start receiving videos. We come out every week, usually on Tuesdays, that you can get a video that's going to tell you just practical stuff that we do to use to apply the word of God to our real life. And obviously, if this has been a blessing to you, share it with another brother or somebody else that you may be discipling. Remember, we are males by birth, but we are men by choice. So each and every day, choose to be the man that God has called and created you to be. Because a male is a terrible, terrible thing to waste. So until next time, stay strong, stay blessed, stay encouraged, stay connected. Because real men do connect. But most importantly, stay in God's grip. And I'll talk to you soon.